And I'm back, guys. Hopefully you guys miss me. Yeah, it's me and Jack back here again. We're not talking about Barcelona. We're not talking about Messi. We're going back. The Backleys. I don't know why I call it Backleys, but the Premier League is back in 6 days. When this
Childhood. It's the childhood. It's your
Pardon?
childhood.
It's exactly. I've always known it was the Backleys Premier League. At the time, it was called the Carling Premier League, which wasn't that great. But yes, guys, it's prediction time. With 5 days to go, this comes out probably 6 days ago till the Premier League starts. We're going to predict not the top 4, not the top 7, not the top 10, but the whole league, all 20 positions. Now, if you dislike me or Jack, this is your opportunity to come back at this in 7 months' time and say, look at you guys. What do you know about football? You predicted him to be there or they to be there. It's a prediction. You generally not know. All right, but ready to get into this.
Yeah, man, let's do it. I mean, so I think for everybody listening, I think what we're going to do, James and I obviously have our separate predictions. We've not talked about it. And I think what we'll end up doing is we'll say 20th and we'll both say our team. Most of the time, we're probably not going to disagree too much, but I would imagine there'll be 2 or 3 dotted around where we'll go, ooh, and we'll have a conversation about it.
This is, honest to God, this is just a prediction. Now, I know I'm going to get some of these horribly, horribly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack literally just told me, I thought it was going to be top 7. Jack goes top 20. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
This is generally like, give me, if this comes back in a few months' time, I'm getting memed all over the shop. But you ready, Jack? Who will finish bottom of the table? Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
I'm happy to go first. To me, it's West Bromwich Albion going to finish bottom. Team not very well prepared. Usually, of the 3 promoted teams, one team will always go straight back down more often than not. And to me, it's going to be West Brom. This isn't Tony Pulis West Brom. It's not the same team. So that's my pick.
Wow. My team to go down and finish last in the table is Aston Villa.
Ooh, okay.
Let me just get. I just look at them last year. They scraped it by the skin of their teeth. They haven't really made that many changes. I feel everything's going to get better. So we're going to move on to 19th in the table, Jack. Who do you got?
I'll let you go first for this one.
Can you let me go first? As I said, one team who usually come up, one of them at least have to go down. My one to go down is going to be Fulham.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So 19th for me, I have Aston Villa. So you had him at 20, I've got him at 19. For a lot of the reasons you said, I don't see a lot of progression or development there. Whether Grealish stays remains to be seen, and I think that'll be more of a distraction for them. But yeah, I think they've kind of ridden their luck a little too often. So they're 19th for me. 18th for me, got Newcastle United. If there was going to be some sort of a takeover from that, that Saudi bid, I would have gotten way up. Signings, going in the right way. But yeah, I just don't look at a team that's again similar to Villa in a lot of ways. They're riding their luck.
Interesting, because my 18th place is a bit of a shock. Is Sheffield United. I just feel like the dust will settle this year. I don't know. I just feel the dust will settle, but it is what it is. Yep.
That's falling off like a lot. I love it. I love your balls there, but like holy shit, man.
Ready for number 17. I'm going to go for West Brom and Albion. I feel like Slaven Village and them guys will. There's something about Slaven Village that I've always liked as a manager. I feel like he'll find a way. He'll come in the Premier League, get them all settled. I feel like they'll just survive.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't see it that way. But it's not like you have them winning the league or anything like that. 17 for me is Fulham. Similar to what you said about West Brom in many ways. I think Scott Parker, he knows the league. I think they've made some good signings. I think we're going to see the best season potentially of Alexander Mitrovic's life. I expect him potentially to do a Rondon, a Danny Ings, a Jimenez type, pull for his team. And there's a lot of hard workers in there, and a lot of those Fulham players know each other very well at this point. It's a very strong, cohesive unit. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to add to that. It was quite interesting because Mitrovic was one of the reasons why I was going to put them higher and get them safe. But I just felt like the disaster they had last time, I just couldn't see it happening. But yeah, go on.
So of 16th for me, I've got Burnley. I think Sean Dyche, as amazing as he is, it's getting a little old now. The players are hearing the same voice over and over again. And it's very, very rare that you will find a manager who can stay at a job for a very, very long time and keep hitting the same message and keep delivering. We saw that with Eddie Howe last year. I wonder if this year, Sean Dyche and Burnley, it starts to fall apart a little bit.
We're singing off the same hymn sheet right now. I totally agree with you. I have Burnley at number 16. Interesting. So we're going to move on to number 15 now. I have Brighton Hove Albion.
Okay.
Just for the reason of they're beating Arsenal 3 times. I mean, they played Arsenal last year, won home and away. I can see them having a good season. I like their manager. Overall, yeah, you know, I think that sort of area is just like we had a poor start to the season. We're just climbing back right now. We're just safe, you know.
Yeah, I think I noticed that, you know, for me in my league, and hopefully I'm not giving too much away here, from like 10 or 11 down to like 18, a lot of the teams, there could be just a matter of points in it. You know what I mean? Like, it's very kind of, there's not really a clear gap. For me, in 15th, I've got Crystal Palace. You know, yet again, it's a team that have kind of ridden their luck a little bit. The Zaha thing, similar to with Grealish, it's a distraction now more than ever. That'll keep going. There will always be talk about his future. I don't think they'll go down, but I don't think it's going to be a fantastic progressive season from Palace. Sorry, so my go again, my fault. You had Brighton at 15. I've got Brighton at 14 for much the same reason. I feel like it is a good unit there. I feel like they do know what they're doing, and I feel like they'll just be able to do enough to stay up. You know, good defensive structure there at the back.
You got me to change my mind a little bit here. I had a team was meant to be here, and I've just switched them over.
Okay.
Number was it 14? I have or 13. What number?
You're doing 14, then you're 13.
Okay, so 14 is going to be Newcastle. Now, I remember that, and you kind of twisted my mind a bit with the things you were saying there, the lack of recruitment, them not getting the Saudis coming in. I feel they're just going to team's going to stand still, but they'll still stay in the Premier League.
Yeah, fair enough. Who's your 13th place team?
My 13th place team is going to be Southampton. I just feel like they're always now they've got to a point now they're just a stationary Premier League team. Not going to go up, not going to go down. Just going to stay banging in the middle. Southampton, solid team. Danny Ings scoring goals. Southampton 13th.
I've got West Ham in 13th. You know, for a lot of the same reasons. West Ham are so weird. Like, West Ham could make Europe. West Ham could get relegated. Like, it's one of the strangest teams. What I will say is the longer David Moyes is at a job, and he kind of obviously proved this at Everton, but he does start to slowly get some sort of consistency going. He does know who he can rely on, who he can't. It looks like they're going to keep hold of names like Declan Rice, which is obviously very, very important. Yeah, again, I could, if you said to me West Ham would finish 17th, I'd go, yeah. If you said West Ham finished 8th or 7th, I'd be like, yeah, but I've got them at 13th. 12th for me, and this is another one of our biggest kind of mismatches as well, following on from Newcastle. I've got Sheffield United. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as good as last year. I think it would be very difficult to do that. I do think they'll fall off a little bit, but I think there's enough in them, and I think they're a better team generally than all the teams I have below them. Who have you got for 12?
It's quite interesting here because I feel like there's a team going on. We're not that far away when it comes to teams. I have West Ham at number 12. Again, this team can do anything. They could be an easy top half team, or they could be battling with relegation. So many top players there, just not sure where to really go with them. 12 is just, I think, a safe bet at this moment in time.
Cool. Who have you got 11th?
11th, interesting, because I just believe it. I don't know, maybe it's just my liking of some of their players. I just believe that when they get it right, offensively, they're a hard team to play against, and that's Crystal Palace to me, personally. I just feel if they can get Zaha going again, Townsend, if someone can somehow get Benteke to score some goals, they will actually be a really good team. But yeah, I have at 11th place, I have Crystal Palace.
So 11th for me is Southampton. Danny Ings is amazing. My player of the year last year, potentially. Him and De Bruyne battling it out. I just think at a team like Southampton to do what he did, it cannot be underestimated. Incredible. It feels to me as well like a lot of the Southampton players, sometimes they sign these kind of exciting players from Europe and you think, ooh, maybe. But recently there's been a little bit of an exodus. Højbjerg, who I love, obviously he's gone to Tottenham. Mario Lemina has now also left the club as well. You know, I think that there's a base there in the midfield. Romeu, Ward-Prowse, defence is pretty solid on the most part. They've signed some fullbacks, I think, and I really like what Ralph Hasenhüttl does. So for me, 11th and potentially a couple spaces higher, but I don't see them finishing anywhere near relegation. In 10th for me, I've got Leeds. And I know you haven't said the name yet either, so I know you're probably as optimistic, if not more optimistic than I am. But to me, this is one of the biggest homecomings in the history of the league. I'm so excited to have Leeds back. Signing like Rodrigo in negotiations for players like Rodrigo de Paul from Udinese. They're really trying to do some stuff here, trying to do some business. If we can also get fans back in the stadium, I think Leeds are going to be a problem for their home games, for other teams' away days. And I expect them to pick up some points. It's going to be a very passionate and reinvigorated fan base. Who have you got?
Jack, this is a tough one because as I'm going, I'm making changes here, there, everywhere. You're not sure where to go, not where to stick in the situation.
Yeah.
I had Leeds higher, then I brought them down all the way to 10th. I want to keep it where I am. Should I just keep it?
Dude, do whatever. I'm not changing mine at all. It's up to you. Like, the thing, James, before the league starts, I reckon you can make as many changes as you want. But
okay, let me go for it. Let me go for it. At 10th place, I have Leicester City. 10th place, Leicester City. For that reason alone is that I get it, Brendan Rodgers, great manager, good team, but the way they collapsed coming to the end of the season was something that you don't see that many times. You know, I just feel with the majority of them guys, have they ran their last step as a team. I understand they have some good players like Chilwell just left. They got Maddison. They got Tielemans. Of course, Jamie Vardy's still there and going to give us goals, but can they still get it at that level? I think out of all the teams, all the top teams, they're going to be the one to stand still the most. So yeah, I have them at 10th place.
Who have you got in 9th?
9th place, I have Wolves. I have Wolves in 9th place. And this is what I'm saying. This is so crazy. I'm going crazy. I'm going nuts. But I want to mention this to you. How crazy it is to have teams like Wolves in the Premier League, Leicester in the Premier League, and Leeds back in the Premier League. This is looking like old school 2001 Premier League. You know, it feels so good. But again, consistent as they are, I might have them higher if they make changes. This is obviously going to change when teams sign players. But at this moment in time, I have 9th Wolves.
So to me, I'm actually going to copy you here. I've got them a space higher than you each, but in 9th I have Leicester, in 8th I have Wolves. Starting with Leicester, yeah, Jamie Vardy's in his mid-30s. It was the most boring, unimpressive Golden Boot run I think we've ever seen last year in terms of individual goal scorers. Usually goal scorers are hitting a little more. Didn't Vardy win with like 19 or something? Or 20?
No, he won like with 23, which is not bad. The lowest I've seen was like 17 or 18 from Nick Snelka, something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I see a guy who's a Golden Boot winner. Do I think he's going to hit those numbers again in his mid-30s? No. Chilwell going obviously is a loss, not as much of a loss as I think people would make out. I think the defence will struggle a little bit more this year as well. James Maddison fell off a little bit. Hopefully he can rediscover his form. But yeah, I don't have too much optimism for Leicester. Moving on to Wolves as well. Some other like rogue signings. Fabio, I believe it's Fabio Silva from Porto, the 18-year-old for
club record.
Any Football Manager players out there will be very aware of him as a talent. Yeah, again, I don't know whether that's going to hit or miss. It's very, very difficult to tell. But yeah, I look at all the teams that I've picked above Leicester and Wolves, and I just think they're better teams.
Cool. We're going to move on to number 8. Again, I'll make the change as I go. I'm going to put Leeds at number 8. Again, I love a good fairy tale. Leeds, to me, when you think about the most important Premier League teams, Leeds, to me, are as up there as Everton are. I know they haven't been in the Premier League for a long time, but they're such a special team. Again, Marcelo Bielsa, as a system, he'll come into the Premier League and he knows everything that goes on. I think he's, as a manager-wise, you can say he's a top 6 manager. Quality, and the one thing Leeds will struggle with is goals. Bringing in Rodrigo is going to be a massive plus for them. If he can get goals, then they'll definitely be in the top half of the table. But I have them at 8.
Yeah. I think I spoke to Timmy about this recently as well in our transfer grades. He fits the Bielsa style. He's not really like a prolific goal scorer, but he does the hard work and will open up more space for the other Leeds players. Who have you got at 7?
7th, I have Everton. Again, they just signed Allen. They're going to get James Rodriguez. Everton always going to be that team, but can we break into it? Can we break into the top 4? Again, the top 4, now top 6 teams just gotten even better. They're trying to match them. I don't think that they're good enough to match them yet, but they're, for me, out of the rest, they're probably the best.
Yeah, I get you there. I haven't said Everton yet. So for me, I've got in 7th, I've got Spurs. Look, they've lost a lot of good players. A lot. Vertonghen is now gone. Obviously, Eriksen left earlier in the year. A lot of that kind of soul base is getting a little older now. I don't know how the Mourinho thing's going to be. I'm loving watching Amazon Prime and watching Mourinho. If you haven't watched
it, please go watch it. Tottenham All or Nothing. It's worth the watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Jose Mourinho is absolute Hollywood stuff. Absolutely fantastic. But no, I just don't see it in the Tottenham team. There's no drive. There's no passion. The only passionate players they really have don't start for the team, which is a big problem. Mourinho is going to get frustrated and it will all kind of collapse on itself. But saying that, I do have him at 7th. Harry Kane, Dele Alli, Song Heung-min. I like Davinson Sanchez, Alderweireld. There are some talented guys in there, and Ndombele maybe plays better. We'll see. But for me, I've got Spurs finishing in 7th. 6th position for me is Everton. I do not think it is possible to underestimate the signings of Alan, who played with Carlo Ancelotti in Napoli, and James Rodriguez, who
played in Carlo Ancelotti when he's with Bayern Munich too.
And largely speaking, this is a household name. I mean, really kind of burst on the scene properly at that World Cup. Obviously, we're a little down the line now from that. He's had a bit of a strange career since, but he's still one of those players who's very capable of doing something nobody expects that you can't stop. And I just think that on games that Everton would usually draw, those kinds of signings are going to just build them up, changing draws to wins and losses to draws.
Again, with you, I have Tottenham at 6th. I just feel the Mourinho factor is there. That's the only reason why I believe that they're going to challenge. At that rate, they've lost a lot of players. Any other person in there, I would question. I would put them a lot lower. But for reason of having Mourinho there, I would have put them at 6th place. 5th, I think we are kind of both know who we both have.
We're all going to do roughly.
Should we go at 3? 1, 2, 3. Sweet. Arteta, fun factor. He came in and he's been a breath of fresh air for this team. I feel like I would have said higher, but the 4 ahead of them are just so strong at this moment of time.
I wouldn't rule out higher. I wouldn't rule out lower, but I definitely wouldn't rule out higher, because I think what Arteta has shown, especially in that game against City, even the Community Shield as well.
Yeah.
He is very capable in big games, FA Cup, Community Shield, of outsmarting other managers now.
But my problem is, it's different to me a cup final game or a semi-final game to a league game. The way Arsenal played in the cup final, you can't play that in every league game. You can't be everybody sit back and withstand pressure. That's the problem. Like, can they adapt and go week in and week out in the league? Winning a league is different to winning a cup. It's two completely different styles. That's the only question I have for them. But I do feel he's came in and gave Arsenal a lot. So I have him at 5th.
I do think it's incredible what a change of manager can do, especially if it's the right guy. The summer transfer window's gone relatively well so far. I think Ceballos permanently. You've got
another loan for Ceballos.
Right. A whole new bench. A whole new defense as well. A young, kind of athletic-looking defense, beating other suitors as well. There were other teams trying to sign some of those guys. So it's really big. So for me. 5th Arsenal. Obviously, I'll move on to my number 4. Again, I think, what should we try and do? 3, 2, 1 again?
Go on. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Chelsea.
Man United.
Oh, okay. I'll say my bit first. I just
feel like. Okay, go.
Yeah. So Thiago Silva, massive improvement. The whole defense is going to pull its socks up. Goalkeeper is still a problem. The main thing I would say is that it's a lot of new pieces that, with very little preparation, are being asked to gel and work together. And it doesn't always work out that way. Now, don't get me wrong. I still have them Chelsea finishing fourth. Frank Lampard, while he's inexperienced, has shown that he's capable of doing some bits here and there. I think there's going to be goals spread around the team. It's not just a case of stopping one player and then, you can beat Chelsea. You have to stop like a good few players to be able to stop him now. Timo Werner, I think, is ready to be one of Chelsea's most prolific ever strikers in terms of like a ratio. Ziyech and his ability to deliver passes that only people on FIFA can see. I'm very optimistic about where this team can go, but I am holding a little bit of a reservation. There's not much team cohesion there yet. I'm sure they will get better and better as the year progresses.
Again, I think Chelsea signed their players not just for this season, but seasons to come by. But I feel like they spending so much money straight away. They got a challenge this year. I have Manchester United for the reason I just felt the three ahead of them are just a bit too strong. But at this moment in time, if they do bring in a Sancho, they do bring in another striker and a defender, then I'll put them up to challenge for the league. But at this moment in time, I just feel like they're outsiders. So I have Manchester United fourth place. Should we move on to third?
Yeah, you do, because I think your fourth is my third, and my third is your. You know what I mean?
You'll be surprised here, Jack. As I said, I like to roll the ball. I was going to put this team lower. I'm not going to lie. At third place, I have Man City.
Oh, James.
Now, let me talk. I'll talk Kevin De Bruyne, but I just feel like Man City have downgraded when it comes to players.
Oh, bro.
I feel them losing Sané and bringing in Torres. Yes, Torres is a good player, but I don't think he's good as Sané. You lose David Silva, who's an all-time great. In, let's say, if it's going to be Phil Foden that's going to take over. As good as Phil Foden is, it's another downgrade. They might bring in another defender, and yes, that might help. But I look at the whole overall team. It's good. I don't think it's as great as everyone makes them out to be. I'm not going to lie. And the fact of the matter is that they got exposed against Lyon. So, yeah, I look at the other teams and I just feel a little bit more. And I also feel with Guardiola, teams have finally figured out the way he plays. I mentioned how his style suits winning leagues. But I feel like in the Premier League, the teams have kind of realized we have to go at this Man City team. When you do have a goal, you won't and you can't score.
Yeah, no, I mean, I will get to Man City, of course. I haven't said them yet. So to me, in third place, I have Manchester United. I fully expect the Jadon Sancho deal to happen. I really do. I think it will be later in the window, but I think there'll be enough of a pressure there for it to go through. They will figure it out, and it will end up happening. This is Manchester United all over. Oh, we won't go over a certain amount. We won't go over a certain amount, and then they just pay whatever they ask for. So I would expect Sancho to go in there. Now, even though I expect that to happen, I love the Van de Beek signing. There's a couple of other bits and bobs and improvements. I think Martial is going to have a great season. I think Pogba's reinvested in the team. Fernandes has shown himself to be absolutely terrific as a signing. I think at home, this is going to be a very high-scoring team. They're good against the top six. I just think they lack a little bit of conviction, which the two teams above that I have, I don't think have. So second for me, which will allow you to know who I have at number one, because there are two teams left, Man City and Liverpool. In second place, I have Man City. I think that Man City have made improvements. I fully expect Kalidou Koulibaly to move to Man City. Koulibaly and Laporte as centre-back partners with the kind of full-back play they've got there, Edison at the back, Rodrigo, De Bruyne, Gundogan or Foden there, some of the attacking players. It wouldn't surprise me overly if some sort of striker is signed from some rogue spot as well. But like you said, I think Pep is being figured out, but I think the firepower and the defensive strength that they will have for this upcoming season will stop a lot of that. But I don't think they have enough. They signed Messi, totally different ball game.
Yeah, that's if they saw Messi, they wouldn't. They
Yeah.
wouldn't. Nothing.
With that unlikely to happen, I've got City in second. Who have you got second?
I've second is Chelsea. Now, for the reason of you spend that much money on Chilwell, Werner, Kai Havertz, Ziyech, Thiago Silva now comes in. That's 5 players. You add them to any team in the world, they improve. Now you bring it to the Chelsea team who finished 4th last season, who have some good pieces around them. Bring them 5 in. You got to put them up there. Frank Lampard, as a manager, he came in and really shocked the whole of England. He's shown a lot, but the only problem with it is gelling everyone in at once. Bringing 5 straight players in, it's hard to bring them in and expect them to click like that. But with the amount of money they spend, the manager they have, the status of the club, I expect Chelsea to finish second.
I'll be honest. I'm quaking in my boots a little bit because you do make a really good point, and I think all they are is figuring out how to play together away from potentially a title challenge.
You know, but the one thing I'm going to say is that we can move on after this. But Chelsea, as a club, they said we signed all these players. Do you think that they told Frank Lampard, we signed these players, we want you to finish 3rd? They want to win the league.
Yeah, I know. They're going for the league, aren't they? So obviously we don't really have to find out. We have one team left each for finishing in first place, and both of us is Liverpool. So I'll start. I mean, Jurgen Klopp for me is the best manager in the world right now, just in terms of man management, being able to motivate players, getting a style and getting players to come in that fit the style and all that kind of stuff. They're kind of an unbeatable force right now. I think they'll fall off a bit. I don't expect them to do as well as they did last year. Obviously, I don't think anybody does, mainly because a lot of their opponents have strengthened massively, and all they've done is signed a backup Greek fullback. So, I don't think anybody's really expecting too much here. Now, if Jorginho Wijnaldum leaves and Thiago Alcantara comes in, that's a bit of an upgrade right there in midfield, and I think that'll be enough to do it. I think we're slowly getting to the end of this kind of ridiculous dominance that we've seen from this Liverpool team in the league. Obviously, they've only won 1 league so far out of maybe the 3 or 4, 2 or 3 opportunities that they've had, this year being one of them as well. But yeah, again, I just see them, especially at Anfield, not losing a game, winning nearly every game, going away, being a pain in the neck, potentially just absolutely routing teams. And yeah, I expect Liverpool to win the league again this year.
The only problem I have with this Liverpool team is just standing still. Now, every great team I think of that have won a treble or won a league, they've always wanted to do better next season. Ferguson is the best example of it. Whenever his team won, he freshened up a little bit to keep the hunger there. I think that's where Liverpool lack at this moment in time. They do need something different, and if that's another attacker, maybe a striker or a winger, or as you mentioned, attacking a midfielder who can unlock like Thiago, that is needed. But at this moment in time, they are the strongest team in the Premier League. I do believe just as the team alone, they strike fear into any team. Going to Anfield, let's forget about just Liverpool. The fear factor of Anfield. I understand there's no crowd there. We're still Anfield, and it's so hard to go there and win. I can see them playing Anfield, winning all 18 games they didn't do that last season, but they came close to doing it. And just overall, go on.
Quickly, so you've got a bunch of teams there. How many can win the league this year? What teams can win the league?
I think 4.
Okay. Is it your top 4?
Yeah, my top 4 can win. Anyone that can win. I'm just going to make one more factor for Liverpool. They're on 19 titles. One more to equal the record of Manchester United. That's a massive factor.
Motivation there, yeah. Just took George Hansen.
4 teams: United, Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool. Any one of them can win it.
I agree. I'm not trying to blow smoke up your team's arse here, but I've been very impressed in the very short period of time with what Arteta's been able to do. Now, do I think that compared to the other 4 teams that Arsenal have that much of a shot? No, I don't. But I do think that with the improvements being made within the team, them buying into the way Arteta wants to do it, and I expect Arsenal's performance in those top 6, top 7, top 8 games against their rivals to be lots and lots better. And all I'm saying is, all you need to do is go game by game, win points, pick up a difficult draw away from home. You never know what might happen.
As an Arsenal fan, I'm more concerned about winning the Europa League and then winning the FA Cup, League Cup, and Europa League. That's the way I'm thinking. I think it's so hard to compete with these lot. Maybe next season, but yeah, guys, all of this can change with a signing. One player could change this whole thing around, and that's from bottom to top. So again, don't quote us on this right now, but I want to know what you guys think. Tell me what you think right now. Comments down below. Thank you for watching. Jack, James, Box to Box Football. And we will see you next time.